AstroTurf, more than just a field. It's where dreams are born. Made right here in America by hands that understand hard work, resilience, and dedication. Each fiber woven with pride. Every roll a testament to American craftsmanship. When our athletes step onto AstroTurf, they're stepping onto a surface that symbolizes the American spirit. The joy in victory, the strength in defeat, the love for the game. That's what we're about. AstroTurf, made in America since 1965.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the AstroTurf A-Team. I'm here with our soccer guys today. Very excited to be with them. Carl Capellas is in the top right of your screen. He's our director of soccer for AstroTurf. And Andrew Goldberg with us there, national sales manager for SISPitches and hybrid grass sales for AstroTurf. So excited to have you guys with me and to talk about what we're doing with hybrid systems across the United States. Lots of exciting stuff happening right now.
Thanks, Gabe. Yeah, it's we've seen a lot of changes and foresee it coming for some time here. So excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, Gabe, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we're excited to have you guys. Andrew, you're about a year into this now, or 2 years now. Tell me about the systems and kind of what's been the most exciting part about getting into this business for you.
Well, yeah, so been at it with AstroTurf SISGrass just a little bit under a year now. It's very exciting for me. Just because my background is originally natural grass. I went to college for turf grass science, and originally wanted to be a golf course superintendent. But for the past 15 years, I've been working for general contractors that build ball fields, both natural and synthetic. So when the opportunity came to to represent SISGrass here for AstroTurf, I mean, it was just a no-brainer for me. These hybrid systems have come a tremendously long ways, over the years. SISGrass is the best hybrid system in the world, so to be able to represent them in the U.S., extremely exciting for me.
I didn't know about the golf background. Are you pretty good?
No, I'm not, but I do love the sport. I don't play a lot anymore, but yeah, my original goal, when I went to school, I went to Penn State in the mid to late '90s, and almost everybody in the turf grass programs back then was there to be a golf course superintendent, and that was my goal. Worked on golf courses for years, and then got involved in the crazy world of synthetic turf, and just kind of been no looking back. But it's interesting, and I'm excited that it's come full circle. And like I said, to be able to represent the best hybrid system, which is going to we're going to start seeing them more and more here in the U.S. It's commonplace overseas, but they're coming here, especially with the World Cup coming. Just couldn't ask for a better job.
Yeah, it seems like they're cropping up everywhere, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger part of the conversation. Tell me what makes a hybrid turf system different from natural grass, in layman's terms, for somebody who doesn't know anything about synthetic turf or grass. How would you explain that?
Well, hey, Carl, I'll let you take it from a playability standpoint, since you're the soccer player, and then I can, kind of get into a little bit more of the grass side of it.
Yeah. So soccer is a sport. Obviously, this hybrid technology really started in the soccer world in Europe, and as you know, for playability of the surface, how the ball and the player interacts with the surface, soccer is as important as any other sport. Maybe field hockey and soccer, the two biggest sports where the playability of that surface is important. So in short, what we like about hybrid fields is it does two things. One is it firms the field up a little bit, but secondly, it makes it more difficult to divot, which makes the field, obviously, the planarity of the field much better through the course of the life of this field over time. Because as we know, some of those grass fields that we played on as kids, and you still see them, they get worn out in certain spots and they never recover. So having a hybrid system allows your field to play more consistently for a longer period of time, which is what we as soccer players love.
Yeah, no kidding. Consistency is key. And it's funny. I feel like it's hard to understand that for some people, but as soon as you have been talking about turf grass and fields and synthetic turf for more than a couple of hours, it becomes really key how important having a consistent surface where you step and it reacts the same way and plays the same way every time really is. So these are some of our partners, from what I understand, from the SISGrass side and hybrid systems side. Talk to me about some of the clientele we have, some of the great teams that are part of the AstroTurf family on this side.
Sure. So, even non-soccer fans will know teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona, two of the top 10 most expensive sports clubs in the world. And there are several different types of hybrid systems out there, and they're choosing to have a SISGrass pitch system put in without a tender, right? Without putting it out to bid. They're choosing the system that they prefer. So that really speaks volumes for them. And then you see someone like Green Bay Packers on here, an NFL team that wants to play on grass, that is the frozen tundra, right, where it's not the easiest place to grow grass, that they recognize a system like this it works for them, as you can see. And a real interesting thing is if you look at some of these clubs, you have places like Northern England, you have Spain, you have Green Bay, you have Northern Italy, you have Switzerland, you have Scotland, down south, even South America, lots of different climates, lots of different types of grass that are preferred at these climates. And all it speaks to the diversity of the product that we are offering, that it works in many different regions, even Turkey, where they prefer in Fenerbahce. I know that they prefer Bermuda type grass versus ryegrass versus Kentucky bluegrass. All these different systems really work well.
Well, I wouldn't call this local compared to that, but it's about as local as you're going to get. It's kind of local to you. You're right in the neighborhood here.
Yeah.
2 MLS clubs in just a couple of days trying it out, and from what I understand, enjoying what we did do there. That blew my mind that you rang them on the phone. You're like, "Hey, we're coming. We're coming right now. Get ready."
Yeah, so partly due to me doing my job, right, and being in the soccer world in the U.S., but then also just the name brand, right, and recognizing it, people knowing what it does right away. We actually have it helps that we have the San Jose Earthquakes and Toronto FC in MLS that have full pitches stitched, but these. When we had the machine over here, it was doing some trials for the 2026 World Cup, and we had that brief little window, 2 days basically, that we were able to keep it. We were able to get it down to FC Cincinnati, which you see right there, their stadium, and do a little stripe for them. That's a great picture that shows places where they don't get much sun, and the field gets hammered by players as they're going over in their warm-up areas. They're running back and forth in the same area and really chewing up the field. So this stitching we did for them really was able to reinforce that area, and they've really enjoyed it. It's been a big success. And then also the same thing we did over in Columbus. So we just kind of took advantage of the fields, of the machine being here before it had to go back and get to work over in Europe. But yeah, there is if you're in the world of soccer, it's a small one. If you're in the world of natural grass, it's an even smaller one. And as Andrew said, almost everyone gets into the grass market because they want to work on golf courses, and that the golf course people run the natural turf side of things in the U.S. But the folks that work on professional fields, on grass fields professionally, is even a smaller world. And those guys all know this product, and they all like this product. It's just a matter of what works for them. It's been a good match for both of us. Yeah.
When speaking of the natural grass world, I mean, this is one of the cornerstones of that world right here. This photo is at Michigan State University, and one of the finer turf grass programs, research programs, and institutions in America, if not the finest. It's right up there, Tennessee, Purdue. And this is from that testing run, which I have footage of, and I'll play for everybody in just a moment. But talk to me about partnering with these guys and working on testing with them on this system specifically. I do want to mention AstroTurf has invested more money, more time, more energy, effort into testing both natural and synthetic turf than any other company. Pretty proud of that. And that's something that's been coming up a lot lately on my end.
Yeah, it's important for us. And I'll talk a little bit, and then Andrew can get into the critique, the little minutia of what we're doing there. But yeah, it's important to us. We want our fields to be, again, perform consistently. And we use great grass fields, pristine grass fields, as the benchmark all around. But it's an important thing for us that we want to raise the standard for everyone. Right. And that comes through testing, that comes through partnership, that comes through education, which is what we're doing there. So 2 of the guys you saw earlier in that picture, Dr. John Sorokin and Dr. Trey Rogers, are those 2 guys are 2 of the titans in the natural grass performance world for golf, but also for sports fields in particular. So it's been a joy really to glom information and see what the kind of research they're doing for grass fields, for synthetic turf, but also the interest in hybrid. And as we get closer, this particular product we have, I know for 2026 in the World Cup, one of the challenges is FIFA will require all these fields to be stitched. So what we're looking at is that machine that can do that work right there. So every field in the World Cup, regardless, men's, women's, or youth World Cups, needs to be a hybrid field for FIFA. So the challenge that will exist, that'll be unique in 2026, it'll be the largest venue, the largest country to host it, the most venues, and it'll require some of these fields to be laid down as sod. So there's been some challenges in the past, I know, unique. to stitching on sod fields. And Andrew, I think, can talk a little bit more about what they're doing specifically in Michigan State.
Yeah. It's obviously hybrid systems, even though there's been a lot of advancements, they're not new. So the past couple World Cups, those fields, most of them have been SISGrass fields. They have been stitched, and that will be the case when it comes here. But as Carl mentioned, we have some unique challenges here in the state. So the reason why all these FIFA trials and kind of had to step up the testing is many of our host cities are domed facilities, existing synthetic turf fields that will need to be converted to natural grass. So we have some challenges. Again, I think the biggest may be, okay, yeah, you have a dome, you can host a World Cup match, but it's still going to have to be grass and it's still going to have to be hybrid. So we need to figure that out. So that is essentially a lot of the testing that is going on is, okay, with these dome facilities, how can we come in? And I hate to use the term disposable because you're going to have the most high-level grass field on the side of one of these facilities, but it is going to have to be a temporary grass field. But again, as Carl mentioned, FIFA knows they have to have the best. So they mandate a hybrid surface. So whether it's indoor, outdoor, existing synthetic turf, or existing natural grass, these fields are going to have to be hybrid. So again, that is the challenge, is making sure they have the absolute most elite playing surface, and especially in these dome facilities. And so they found the two guys. They know the two guys that are best to take that on here in the U.S. would be Dr. Trey Rogers and Dr. John Sorokin. And we were lucky enough to attend some of these trials at Tennessee and Michigan State. They're doing a great job, and we're really excited to see what system they come up with, what we're going to see on the ground.
Yeah, it was super cool. This is I'm just playing back this video again so people can see footage of the machine running and actually tufting down into the grass. First of all, super cool to see that machine run. It's like the size of a small car, a small sedan. And they had great guys they sent over from the Netherlands, right? Or from Holland?
Yeah, it's the machine and the technology is cool. You can see the perfect shot there of a synthetic twisted monofilament being injected into the grass field itself. And as a sports guy or as a sports fan, it's kind of fun just to see that, how the technology and how it works. But yeah, it definitely is the machine themselves. The operators are really engineers, and it's not a plug in and go. You need someone that it has some finesse to it as well. So you need to know really how the machine works, be familiar with engineering and how best to use them. But yeah, as a sports fan, just in general, it's super cool to see. So
obviously you can really clearly
and then
see
that
here. It's really dramatic. It's not as obvious here, but you can see the synthetic fibers are almost a different color, very close.
Yeah, and what you're doing here is
tough to see once it's actually installed in the grass.
Yeah. So and maybe Andrew can talk to us a little bit about what actually happens and how far afield and what type of fiber is injected into those fields, and what it actually does.
Yeah, once the machines are cool to see. It's cool to watch the fibers being driven into the ground. Once it's in, the fibers are very tough to see in the grass surface, which is what we want. The synthetic fibers sit just a little bit below the natural grass. So we work with the groundskeeper to determine what height they maintain their grass at, and we mow the synthetic fibers to be a little bit shorter than that. But yeah, the reason these systems work so well, most of the action is taking place beneath the surface. We're driving polyethylene fibers 7 inches down into the root zone. So as your grass roots grow and they grow around these synthetic fibers, that essentially what is just stabilizing and reinforcing your field. As Carl mentioned earlier, you don't get as many divots. You have a nice consistent surface, and that's because of everything that's really taking place, in the root zone beneath the grass. Everything you don't see. But then, on top of that, the fibers that are exposed, it does improve rotational traction, which is great. Doesn't matter what type of grass, whether it's a cool season or Bermuda, there's advantages to these systems. But yeah, a lot of the action's taking place beneath the surface. but it works, and it works tremendously well. Again, that's why FIFA's adopted it.
It's just super cool to see, to me, as a sports fan and as a bit of a grass and turf nerd, right? Just to see that process underway. And it was really exciting to go up to Michigan State to hear Rogers and Sorokin talk about the system and bring all the data and science to it, discuss how all that is turned into the engineering process was really cool as well. And I'll show you guys too. We've got a time lapse of a field being constructed. And if you could talk about this process as well, I'd appreciate that. Just what it's like to build a grass field and it's hybrid.
Yeah, well, so one of the things that, because we keep using the term hybrid, and it is a hybrid field, it does have synthetic fibers in it, but it all starts with building a high level and natural grass field. I mean, so these are natural grass playing fields. Most of them sand based, but not necessarily, but it's a high level playing field, right? So, they say the breakdown is 95% natural grass, 5% synthetic. So again, technically it is a hybrid, but like I said, it all starts with constructing a natural grass field, and then we can come in and do our reinforcements after the fact. The cool thing about the SISGrass machines, though, is this could be done at different times, even throughout the construction. So it could be stitched directly just into your root zone before it has been seeded to grow in, or in a lot of situations, the field could be sodded, and we can come right in behind the sod and stitch literally, right after it's going down. Like I said, there's been a lot of advancements in these over the years. I mean, not just in the way you build natural grass fields, but the machines that are used to maintain them, and now even the machines that we can use to reinforce them. Hybrid technology has been around since the late 80s. Again, originally designed to stabilize sand-based fields, and that worked. But what we've learned over the years is how to properly maintain these fields. And then now we have just so much newer and better equipment to be able to achieve it. So now when you look at, again, SISGrass machines, we can go to various spacings and depths, and they're laser guided. Whereas it used to take some, companies a month to stitch a field, we can do it in a week. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see how far these have come.
Carl, I thought we lost Carl there. I thought Carl was just going to be gone for the rest of the podcast.
I got so excited about that video, I needed to focus on it. We love watching. Yeah, you love seeing any great construction. Just being, that's what we're in. We're in the construction business, really. But seeing that the construction being done, the precision that is involved, you get a good sand-based field, and you see those grow lights there that they're using.
Grow lights,
different things that you can use, makes it exciting. When you get people that do a good job and do things well, it's and you get a good result, you got to enjoy it.
Okay, so I want a couple more things from you guys before I let you off the hook. I know I'm taking up a lot of your time here. I really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about the hybrid systems and what they're bringing to the North American market. First, from a fan's perspective, I want to get into the sales pitch and the business end of things, and I want you to talk right to front offices, why they should consider a hybrid system, what the benefits are of it. But from a fan's perspective, and again, kind of going back to layman's terms, what do fans need to know about hybrid pitches, and what benefits do they bring to their favorite teams?
Yeah, so I think what you can see and the just the tagline is that hybrid fields, SISGrass injected field, is going to make your grass field perform about 3 times as long, right? Without divots. And you see games, you watch NFL games where they're changing out between the hashes every so often. You see soccer games where the goal box is smashed up. You see right in front of the pitcher's mound in a baseball field gets hard and gets hammered. Lacrosse creases, all these high wear areas get just beat up and the field becomes discolored. So from a fan's perspective, the field's going to look better longer. From a player's perspective, that field's going to last, again, going to play about 3 times as long. So from an end user's perspective, from an ownership perspective, you have a stadium and you want to you can now use that stadium, right? You know, that it's going to be safe and perform more consistent for a longer time, but then you also have the capability of hosting, you know, instead of just 8 games a year or 10 games a year without fear, you can extend that out to whatever you're doing. You know, I was sold on it when I saw over in England at Loughborough University, which is they do work similar to on-field performance in England field, and they kept track of the amount of times they used that field and how many uses, and it had 100 uses, a grass field with 100 uses, and not just walkthroughs, but practice or games. And the field was fantastic, and I was sold from there. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think Carl hit on all the main points there. I think from you said, like, when you're talking to the front office, what's the sales pitch? I mean, really, when you have a playing field, what the goal is, you want, especially when you're talking natural grass, you always hear pristine natural grass, pristine natural grass. Even on the synthetic side, that's what you're trying to do your best to mimic. And on the natural grass side, that's what you strive for, right? So to me, is if you want a pristine natural grass field and you want the absolute best playing field possible, I mean, we've essentially, moved the benchmark, right? This is the most pristine, the best natural grass field that you can build and that you can install, and like for all the reasons that Carl mentioned. You can use it more from a playability standpoint, and now we can say with the rotational traction and the consistent surface, it's a safer surface, which is a huge thing, right? But and it gives you ability to put more games, more matches, more events in your stadium. If it's a training field, you can simply use it more. So again, if your goal is to always build the best playing field possible, for us, getting involved in the natural grass world, to us, it's a SISGrass pitch. That's the best, and that's what we're always trying to do. Whether it's an AstroTurf synthetic field, on the synthetic side, we're always trying to do the best. Whether it's natural grass, again, SISGrass is the best. So that's that's where I'm coming from, anyways.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is there any closing thoughts from either of you guys? I don't want to just cut you off after that great sales pitch. That was really good, though. Any closing thoughts, Carl or Andrew, on SIS pitches, hybrid grass systems, and working with AstroTurf?
I put probably 6 months into this, researching the different types of hybrid, talking to every company, talking to end users, traveling around the world to see these pieces of equipment and how things work before we really dialed in and chose to and worked on partnering with SISGrass. And it's so good. It's such a good system when it's put in. It is the ultimate win-win, and it's an investment in your field, the longevity of your field, the playability of your field, with good people to work with. So it is a complete slam dunk for me. I love the fact that it's a little bit of both worlds, right? The synthetic world that we live in, coupled with the natural grass world that exists. And here's a way to bridge those two and still get playability, and even better playability than you already have. So I'm a huge proponent and huge fan of the technology, and am excited that we're at the forefront of doing a lot of these the first hybrid fields in the United States. And we have Andrew, who's a agronomist at heart and a wonderful employee for us from an owner's side, right? To give knowledge to an owner and how to use the machine, but also how to grow. He speaks their language, so it really is a great addition. He's a great addition to our team.
I appreciate that. And the last thing I'll add too is, because I know that we talk about the big name clubs and all the eye candy slides are great, but one thing I'd like to mention is that throughout this video, we do have a fleet of machines. So we now have the capabilities to do things beyond just full size, high level stadium pitches. Whether it's something as small as a cricket wicket, cricket's making its way into the U.S. now at a rapid pace. It could just be, goal boxes, just smaller high use areas that groundskeepers are having trouble keeping grass growing or maintaining. So we have a lot of capabilities. You don't have to necessarily just be the Green Bay Packers or FC Barcelona to install one of these fields. We're out there to support everybody. And now with the fleet of machines that we're going to have from SISGrass, we're going to have those capabilities. So super excited about it.
Cool. I'm excited too. I completely love it. Whether you're a high school or you're an NFL franchise, we want to hear from you. If you want a hybrid pitch, give us a call today, 1-800-AstroTurf. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for joining me, guys. This has been the AstroTurf A-Team, and we'll catch you again next time.